We're here with Sarah Cast McGinnis. Sarah, where were you born?
I was born in German Flats, New York. However, I was raised in the Mohawk River Valley west of Albany. I grew up with the Mohawks, so I'm very fluent in their customs and their language.
What did you do during the Revolution?
I had a fur trading post, but it was seized by the Patriots. They took all of my money. They burned my house down with my son in it even.
That's terrible. What did you do after that?
After that, it didn't get any better. Me, my daughter, and my granddaughter, we were locked up in a prison where my granddaughter actually died. They actually killed my granddaughter. After that, we just wished for the British to come every single night to come and save us. And after that, finally, General Barry St. Ledger came, and we were all able to flee to Canada. We fled to Fort St. Wicks. In 1777, the British asked me to go back just because of my fluency with the Mohawk people. I was able to go back and help them, keep them loyal to the British.
So what happened after the war was over?
After the war, like I said, we lived in Canada. That's where we stayed. I wrote to the British to try and see if I could get reimbursed for any of my property or my money that was lost, and sadly I was only given very little amount of money. However, I should have received some land just because that was my right as a loyalist, but I didn't receive any.
Thank you for your time. I'm sorry for your loss, and thank you for being a loyalist.
You're welcome. Thank you. We're here today with a famous historian, Rebecca Lee. Rebecca, why did Benning Whitworth create the Tories Association?
Benning Whitworth created the Tory Association because at one point he was popular, but events happened that created a growing defiance of his government. And the purpose of the organization was for mutual protection and for the guarding of the governor, Wentworth.
Wonderful, okay. And what did Benning do to cause people not to like him?
Well, he loyally supported the Stamp Act of 1765, and when the Assembly tried to send delegates to the Stamp Act to protest, Wentworth exercised his power to dismiss the Assembly, and this made a lot of people unhappy because they didn't get to voice their opinions.
Wow, well thank you very much, Rebecca. Thank you for coming out today. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
We're now speaking with Governor Hutchinson. Welcome, Governor. What do you believe the origins of this present conflict between the British and English colonies owe their rise to?
Well, I know the revolution originated with a conspiracy, and this belief is shared by many. I contend that as opposition to the government in the colony of Massachusetts began with James Otis Sr., was refused a much awaited and hoped for judgeship. From so small a spark, a great fire seems to have kindled. Furthermore, the present unhappy situation is because the smugglers find themselves too closely watched and are quite determined to oppose the authority of the British government in the American colonies. I surmise that opposition to the government is being directed by scheming men whose interest it is to keep alive the coals of sedition in order to promote and further their own personal advancement, quench their thirst for power.
Then why, Governor Hutchinson, in 1770 did you privately propose a set of coercive measures for Britain to impose on Massachusetts?
Well, the measures I proposed and recommended were intended to have a stunning and sobering effect on the short-sighted and excited men that are rebelling. These measures would inaugurate a stabilizing period and thereby strengthening Massachusetts' ability to resist British intrusion. These measures, I believe, are going to defend colonial liberty, and that prudent submission to British authority is a subtle strategy for preserving that liberty. I am convinced that rebellious spirits is only the work of such patriot hotheads as Samuel Adams and the like.
Governor Hutchinson, although you express opposition to the Townsend duties, you feel that they should be enforced as the law. How can this be?
I do. I hold a deep and earnest belief in the indivisibility of the British Empire and a profound conviction that imperial unity depends upon the supremacy of Parliament to legislate for the entire empire. I wish to preserve the existing order against what I understand to be attacks of demagogues and the ominous threat of continuous public disorder.
We're here with Molly Brandt. Molly, what type of American Indian are you?
I'm a prominent Mohawk woman.
And why were you highly visible in the war effort?
Well, I so actively engaged in the revolution area and diplomacy on the side of the British. Therefore, I also hid loyalists and, when necessary, to provide them food and ammunition.
Why did you flee to Canada?
To work with the British officials and the Iroquois as the intermediate.
And what did you do after the revolution?
After the revolution, I settled in what is now Kingston, Ontario, and recognition of service to the Crown to the British government gave me pension and compensated me for wartime losses.
And how would you describe yourself, Molly Brandt?
A woman of strong personality and dignity, therefore influenced between two great cultures, the British government and the Iroquois. Now speaking with Benedict Arnold. Why did you betray your country?
I was angry and hurt over the many slights I received over the years. I felt unappreciated by my country and those who I fought with. Even I sacrificed my own leg for the cause. My pride was damaged and I was also humiliated. Another reason was my wife Peggy, who had many friends who were British officers and Tory sympathizers.
When did you start to have contact with the British?
In May of 1779, I began bargaining with the British.
What benefits did you receive from the British?
They gave me land in Canada, pension for my family, and a military commission as a British general.
What did you do before you became a Tory?
I owned some trading ships and I helped in the revolution. I was a soldier.
Now we're speaking with Herman Husband. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Maryland and eventually I moved to North Carolina, and in the 1760s I was involved in a group called the Regulators.
Now, what exactly are the Regulators?
Well, the Regulators were a group of people that resisted the corrupt government officials of North Carolina.
What were they doing that was so corrupt?
Well, at the time, a lot of people suddenly moved to our state, which created less of an income for the farmers, and a lot of them started to gain debts and some lost their land. These government officials were taxing us all to death, and the lawyers that were supposed to help were scamming us to benefit themselves.
How did the Regulators try to stop this?
Well, I'm a Quaker, so I wrote pamphlets and I led the group mostly, but a lot of the Regulators did resort to violence and had huge mobs and attacked people.
So, besides all the violence, what was your main goal?
We just wanted to form an honest government and reduce taxation. That's why we were loyal to England and not those greedy little patriots.